My friend, I am not here to tell you to work harder, to try your luck, or to calculate probabilities. I am here to tell you that you don't need to do anything except listen. Just once, just with your whole self. Close your eyes, if you will, and imagine for a moment that the numbers have already been drawn. The crowd is quiet, the air still, and there your numbers are called. Not one missing, not one out of place. The ticket is in your hand, you knew it. You expected it. That feeling is the power that moves the universe. You do not win the lottery by hoping. You win by knowing. You win by assuming the end and dwelling in its certainty. The moment you feel yourself to be the one who has already won, the world begins to reshape itself to meet you in that truth. Stop trying, stop chasing, stop waiting. The version of you who already holds the winning ticket does not beg, does not check numbers in fear, does not need validation. They know. They smile. They are calm. Do not wonder how it will happen. That is not your concern. The bridge of incidents will unfold on its own. Your only task is to persist in the feeling. Persist in the knowing. You say, but what if it doesn't work? And I say, what if it already has? What if in some higher reality, the moment you assumed it, it became true? There is no power outside of you. All things respond to the assumptions you carry within. You've been taught to look to the world, to act, to try, but creation is finished. The lottery, the wealth, the abundance, all of it already exists. And as you listen, feel it sinking into you, not as a suggestion, but as a truth. Let it possess you. Let the feeling take hold as though it were fact, because to your subconscious, it already is. Creation, the mind that assumes quietly, is more powerful than the one that acts without belief. So walk as the winner, speak as the one who already has. Think from the end, not of it, because once you do, even once, you set into motion forces far beyond your effort. Win the lottery, not by chance, not by effort, but by knowing you already have. Your outer world is not separate from your inner world. In truth, they are one and the same. Reflections of a single source, your imagination. Most people believe that what they see, hear, and touch is what is real, and what they imagine is fiction. But this is the great error. The truth is the opposite. Your imagination is not a fantasy. It is the blueprint of all that comes into form. What you imagine vividly, emotionally, and consistently must eventually appear in your experience. It is a law more certain than gravity. Your life is not determined by external conditions, but by the images and feelings you entertain within. Every fortune or failure, every gain or loss begins not in the world, but in the mind. Let us take the example of winning the lottery. The average person approaches this goal by purchasing a ticket, hoping and checking the results. But this process is rooted in chance, in external dependency. The true method, the creative method, begins inward. It begins with an imaginal act. Close your eyes and see it, not as something in the future, but as a reality now. Feel the weight of the winning ticket in your hand. Hear the sound of your voice as you call a loved one to share the news. Imagine how it feels to know that you never have to worry about money again. Let that scene be alive, detailed, and saturated with emotion. Why does this work? Because imagination is the womb of reality. It is the soil in which your experiences are planted. The moment you assume something to be true in imagination, especially if it is accompanied by feeling, you impregnate the subconscious with a command. That command, like a seed in fertile earth, must grow. It will express itself in ways you cannot predict, through people you have never met, and through events you could not plan. Your only job is to remain loyal to the imaginal act. Do not return to the old version of yourself who doubts and wonders. Stay faithful to the state of the wish fulfilled. Think from it, not of it. Feel from it, not about it. Live in the knowing that it is done. What you see in your inner world today will become your outer experience tomorrow. This is not magic, it is law. The seen is always born from the unseen. So do not underestimate the power of your mind. Do not dismiss a thought simply because it has not yet appeared in form. Your imagination is not limited by time, logic, or effort. It is divine, and it creates without resistance. Remember, if you can see yourself as the winner in imagination, not just as a daydream, but as a felt reality, the universe is compelled to mirror that truth. Live from the vision. Feel it deeply, trust it absolutely. Because the world you desire is already within you. It is not the act of buying a ticket nor the excitement of hoping for a win that brings your desire into reality. Those are outer movements, gestures made in the physical world. They may accompany the process, but they are not the cause. The true cause, the one and only power behind manifestation, is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feeling is the language of creation. You are not rewarded for effort, nor for good intentions. You are rewarded for alignment with the end result. When you feel the state of having already won, you shift your entire energetic signature. You are no longer someone who wants or needs. You are someone who already has. This is the great secret. When you sit in silence and generate the inner atmosphere of wealth, of security, of joy, the kind of joy you would feel if the numbers had been drawn in your favor, something unseen begins to change. You may not see it with your eyes, but your entire world starts to reorganize itself around your new inner state. The people you meet, the conversations you hear, the timing of events, all begin to conspire in perfect harmony with that inner assumption. Most people imagine the result they want, but they feel something else entirely. They imagine abundance but feel lack. They picture wealth but feel fear. That contradiction is why their desires do not materialize. The subconscious does not respond to words or wishes, it responds to feeling. You must become emotionally involved with the version of yourself that already has what you desire. How would you feel if you checked your account and saw millions? How would you breathe? How would you walk? How would your conversations change? Capture that state not in fleeting moments but in repetition. Dwell in it, return to it often. Make it your home. And do not wait for the outer world to justify this feeling. That's backward living. The world is only a mirror. You must feel it first. The mirror reflects only what you present to it. If you seek to win the lottery, do not wait to feel like a winner. Be it now. Think from it now. Sit with that quiet inner knowing. It's already mine. No effort, no doubt, no desperation, just calm possession. This is not make-believe. This is creation. You are not fooling yourself, you are forming yourself. You are stepping into the version of reality that was always available to you, but only accessible through feeling. The world does not respond to what you want. It responds to who you are being. So be the one who has already received. Let the feeling of having won become more real to you than your senses. Embody it, trust it. Rest in it. Because once the feeling is real, the manifestation is inevitable. Let the feeling be the secret, and your world will never be the same. When it comes to manifesting the life you desire, whether it be wealth, love, health, or winning the lottery, the path you take is not your concern. The details, the how, the sequence of events that lead from your present state to your desired state, all of it is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is the end. The end is everything. You must learn to let go of the need to control or understand every step. That urge, that compulsion to figure it out, is the very resistance that delays your desire. The mind wants logic, but creation obeys feeling. It is not your job to build the bridge. It is your job to stand firmly in the final scene and feel its reality. What does that mean? It means imagining, and more importantly, feeling that your desire has already been fulfilled, not in some distant future, not one day, but now, in this moment. It is done. You are the one who has won, who has become, who has arrived. This assumption, this inner knowing, is the creative act. It is not enough to wish, hope, or visualize casually. You must assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and let it saturate your being. When you do, the outer world begins to conform, often in ways your logical mind could never predict. Do not concern yourself with the mechanism. That is not your domain. The subconscious mind, the infinite intelligence that governs all reality, knows exactly what to do and how to do it. Your task is singular and simple. Dwell in the end. Suppose you wish to win the lottery. Ask yourself, what would the end feel like? Would you feel peace, excitement, gratitude, relief? Let that feeling wash over you. See yourself celebrating, holding the check, hearing the confirmation. Let it be vivid, but more importantly, let it feel natural. When you occupy the state of the wish fulfilled, you are no longer seeking, you are receiving. You are no longer hoping, you are knowing. This state of being emits a frequency that aligns you with the version of reality where your desire already exists. It draws people, situations, and synchronicities into your life, not by chance, but by law. And when doubt arises, as it often does, remind yourself, the end is already mine. I don't need to know how. Each time you return to the end, you water the seed of your creation. Each time you feel it real, you strengthen its roots. There is great power in simplicity. Do not complicate the process. You do not need to ask, chase, plead, or push. You only need to persist in the end. Let that end be so real in you that the world has no choice but to mirror it. So breathe deeply and rest in the feeling that it is done. You don't need to figure it out. The end is all that matters, and the end is already yours. The world teaches you to try harder, hustle more, do more, become more. It teaches that effort equals worth and struggle is the price of success. But in truth, what you chase, you push away. What you pursue, you declare you do not yet have. And so it stays distant. The secret is not to try. The secret is to be. You are not meant to fight for your desires. You are meant to assume their reality. The moment you stop chasing and start being, everything begins to change. Reality does not respond to desperation. It responds to identity. Let's be clear. You are not rewarded for effort. You are rewarded for embodiment. To embody means to become the version of yourself who already has the thing you desire. If you want love, become the one who is already loved. If you want wealth, walk, speak, and feel as the one who is already abundant. If you want success, think and act from the position of already being successful. This is not about faking it. It is not pretense. It is presence. It is knowing that the state of your desire already exists and choosing to dwell in that state as if it were your reality now. Because when you feel it real, it becomes real. Trying implies separation. Being implies union. As long as you are trying, you are affirming that what you seek is outside of you, distant, unavailable, somewhere out there. But when you shift into being, you collapse the distance. You may ask, how do I become without having? And the answer is through imagination and feeling. Imagination is your gateway to infinite states. Feeling is the substance of those states. When you imagine something vividly and feel it deeply, you begin to occupy it, you move into it with your consciousness. And that is the creative act. If you wish to win the lottery, stop thinking like someone who is waiting to win. Stop acting like someone who needs the win to feel complete. Instead, embody the mindset of the winner. How would you feel waking up tomorrow with millions in your account? How would your posture change? How would your inner dialogue sound? Dwell there. Your outer life must conform to the inner truth you live by. It has no choice. Reality is a mirror. It reflects not what you want, but who you are being. So stop trying, stop efforting, stop searching outside. You are not here to struggle into alignment. You are here to remember that you already are. Become the version of yourself who no longer wants, because they already have. Let that version be your resting place. Let it be your default identity. Because once you stop trying and start being, the world will rise to meet you where you already are. You don't chase the outcome. You attract it by being it. There is one golden law that governs all manifestation. What you assume to be true and persist in will harden into fact. Not once, not sometimes, but always. The key is not force. It is not labor. It is not physical effort. The key is sustained belief, unwavering, quiet conviction in the unseen. It is the repetition of inner knowing, not outer striving, that reshapes your world. Your senses are servants, they are not masters. And yet, most people live bound to what their eyes show, what their ears hear, what their current conditions whisper. They assume their reality is fixed, when in truth, reality is fluid, malleable, obedient to assumption. You must learn to hold fast to your inner vision, even when the outer world contradicts it. You must live from the end, even when your bank account, your relationships, or your body say otherwise. This is the great discipline, the ability to persist in the assumption that what you have imagined is already yours. Suppose you desire to win the lottery. Do not ask how. Do not worry when. Instead, create the end scene in your imagination. Feel it real. Taste the excitement, the freedom, the security, and then persist. When doubt creeps in, return to the state. When fear whispers it's not working, reaffirm it is already done. Let no outer fact override your inner truth. Because the world you see now is but the residue of former thoughts. It has no authority over the new creation you are now imagining. Persistence does not mean struggle. It means faith. Not blind faith, but conscious, chosen faith in the unseen reality you are birthing. Every time you return to the assumption, you deepen the groove. You train your subconscious mind to accept it as real. And the subconscious, the builder of your world, never fails to construct what it has accepted as true. You may not see instant results. You may not feel any shift for days or even weeks, but do not be deceived. The seed is planted. The gestation is underway, and if you do not disturb it with doubt, with fear, with contradictory thought, it will bloom. Be still in your knowing. Live as though it has already happened. Speak less of your desire and more from your desire. Walk in the world as one who already has. Smile not because you're hoping, but because you are certain. Remember, you are not manifesting through repetition of action, but repetition of assumption. So keep returning to the feeling, keep revisiting the end, keep choosing the state again and again until it becomes your dwelling place, not as a guest, but as a resident. Reality is clay in the hands of your belief, and the one who persists in the assumption, no matter what appears, will see the invisible become visible with absolute certainty. Hold the vision. Refuse to let it go, because what you assume and persist in becomes. Listening is far more than a passive act of simply hearing sounds around you. True listening is an active, deliberate practice, a conscious reception of words, ideas, and feelings that deeply impress upon your subconscious mind. It is in this sacred space of conscious listening that creation is born, and your world begins to change. When you listen consciously, every word you absorb becomes a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. The subconscious does not distinguish between reality and imagination, between spoken truth and silent belief. It accepts all input as real and begins to work on the instructions it receives. Thus, the words you hear and how you hear them have immense creative power. Imagine for a moment the simple act of listening to a declaration of your success, your wealth, your joy. If you listen consciously, these words are not just sounds, they are commands, impressions etched deep within. They reshape your inner landscape, altering your assumptions about who you are and what you deserve. The subconscious, responding to these impressions, begins to mold your external reality to match. Most people listen unconsciously. They let words wash over them without awareness. The messages of limitation, fear, or doubt slip in unnoticed and take root. They reinforce old beliefs, keeping the outer world locked in the familiar patterns of lack and struggle. But conscious listening breaks this cycle. It transforms hearing into a powerful act of creation. This is why it is crucial to choose carefully what you allow yourself to hear, and more importantly, how you listen. When you engage in conscious listening, you become a creator of your own experience. You absorb affirmations, truths, and visions of your fulfilled desires. You allow these words to echo within you until they settle in as undeniable facts. Conscious listening requires presence. It requires you to silence the noise of doubt and distraction within. To listen fully, you must be still, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. You open yourself to the possibility that what you hear is not just a story or a hope, but a blueprint for your becoming. The transformation begins inside. The subconscious receives the command and begins to work behind the scenes, influencing your thoughts, feelings, actions, and the very circumstances that surround you. Slowly but surely, the external world aligns with the new inner script you have embraced. Through listening, do not underestimate the subtlety of this process. The changes may be imperceptible at first, but persistent, conscious listening accumulates power over time. It creates an invisible force field of certainty and expectation around you. This force field draws to you the people, opportunities, and synchronicities that embody your new reality. In essence, conscious listening is a form of prayer, meditation, and declaration all at once. It is your dialogue with the infinite intelligence that governs all things. Every word you allow to sink deeply becomes a call to that intelligence to respond. So today, choose to listen consciously. Tune your inner ear to the words of your desired reality. Receive them fully. Let them take root in your heart and mind. Command your world to shift, not through force, but through the quiet, powerful act of conscious listening. Because when you listen consciously, you do more than hear, you create. And creation always begins with listening. As we come to the close of this message, remember this profound truth. The power to create your reality lies not in frantic effort or chasing outcomes, but in the quiet, unwavering assumption that what you desire is already yours. Through imagination, feeling, persistence, embodying your fulfilled state, and conscious listening, you align yourself with the unseen forces that shape your world. Trust in this process. Rest in the certainty of your fulfilled desire. Let go of doubt and surrender to the knowing that the end is already done. When you stop trying and simply be, when you persist in assumption and listen consciously, you become a living magnet for the reality you seek. Thank you for allowing yourself to receive these words today. May you walk forward with calm confidence, knowing that the universe responds not to your struggle, but to your state of being. Your victory is already yours. All that remains is to feel it, believe it, and live it. Thank you.